All right, so we're gonna have round one here of our duelist tournament. Duelist community throwdowns. It's gonna be Atlanta versus Melancholische, and it looks like we actually have a Vitruvian versus Lyonar matchup here. Melancholische actually going for the Lyonar here. But the early Planar Scout, so Planar Scout, like after Komodo Charger got taken out, it was the 1/1 rush unit for 1. Now it's a 1/3 vanilla dude. Planar Scout's the new way to take the middle tile. So it's a great way to now, like, you play the raw Dunecaster, not as great a value, but now you just have dudes out. And especially against Lyonar, you need to keep the status quo on the board. There's the brand new Saber Tiger. It's a 3/3 rush. Or it's a 3/2 rush now instead of a 3/3 frenzy. So that's going to come out and trade out the Dunecaster, get rid of that. He's also going to be able to melee out this Planar Scout. So now the board is clean. So that's actually the main battle that's actually going to happen here throughout this match. Is going to be Melancholische clearing the board of the Vitruvian units and trying to keep them from getting to late game any healthy at all. We see the Crystal Wisp play. This is actually a really strong play. Now he's using Dunecasters. Like, ideally, Dunecasters, what they do is they buff. They add +2/+2 to a Dervish, and they also remove Ephemeral. So usually you want to use them to buff those units. So he already has 2 out. There's only 3 in the deck, so he's not going to have much more in here. But the Crystal Wisp is a huge just kind of acceleration boost. And now he's actually going to be at parity now when it comes to cores, and actually he'll be ahead on the core curve. So there's a quick Tempest, wants to get rid of that. And again, he's just clearing Melancholische, clearing the board, making sure there's nothing else that can get in here and get into the face of his opponents, and places a Coiled Crawler behind him. So the good part about the Coiled Crawler is that you have to respect his Vitruvian and actually use quite a bit of hate on it, because since it has celerity, it can be buffed to do crazy amounts of damage. And here's a Repulsor Beast. So Repulsor Beast used to be played a lot. It's actually really good in control decks like this Vitruvian control deck. Trick on the control decks is that, oh wow, Andy Freeze. Oh wow, has he played 2? I think he's played 2 Crystal Wisps. But man, like, this is a really good control round. Like, this is looking good for Vitruvian against a Lyonar player. This is kind of the dream, if you will, or what you want. Repulsor Beast wasn't played a lot. It used to be a 1/1 for 2 that would move you could move an enemy minion across the board, and then everybody threw in their deck because it was so good for aggro. Once it got buffed up, it wasn't quite as good, and here comes out the Lion. You can tell right now that Melancholische realizes that this is a tough scenario where he needs to keep applying pressure. He's also going to use a Sundrop Elixir, which is very, very strong. Just use it to his general. Make sure he gets that health lead, because what's going to start to happen is he's going to start to fall behind. The good part, too, about Lion actually trading out a lot of health there is that it won't be enslaved and used effectively against his general because it is low. And a Wind Strike, I've actually not seen Wind Strikes played a lot, but they are actually pretty valuable. If you think about it, it's a 4/4 flyer, and if you use the new Second Wish, the new Second Wish is great because the new Second Wish gives you celerity. A 4/4 flyer can move anywhere and attack anything, and that is a beautiful play right there. That is the power unit. The Sunstone Templar silences unit, so it hits that obelisk, going to be able to clear it out. And that is kind of the power of that unit, especially against a Vitruvian. And Vitruvian's kind of in a bad spot. Like, he had a great start. He got all the mana ramp up, but all that mana ramp up didn't give him board presence. So now he's sitting there waiting, and there's the Enslave. Going to come out really key right here. Going to be able to turn that lockdown now. It's like he only... Oh, and he does keep Zeal against his general. Actually, I wasn't quite sure it did that. And the Repulsor Beast. Oh, this is rough. This is rough right now for Melancholische. And yeah, Enslave right now, very powerful spell, arguably a little too powerful. Oh wow. So he actually has, he could play Whistling, and Whistling would sort of protect him, but he can't actually get a good position here, which is the trouble for him currently. And the fear of the Whistling is that it also gets Enslaved itself, because Enslave went to an Epic. So before you would expect like a really good deck to actually like they focused and crafted them. Now it's actually way more reasonable for them to have just 3 Enslaves in their deck because of its Epic. And now they're at the late game 9-core ramp up. I mean, I expect those things to be just flying out of Vitruvian's hands here. But we'll see what they decide to do. There is a lockdown. Okay, so we're gonna go. So Ephemeral Shroud, knocking out the Provoke actually isn't that bad, because while it does lock down some key damage that can go against Melancholische, the thing is that you still get a 215 body, which is still okay. Ideally, you want actually the provoke, but he's not going to have it here. His hand, see, he's getting surrounded, so he's running out of a lot of options to sneak. Oh no, the time maelstrom. That's late game Vitruvian, guys. We've gone too far. We've gone too far. Atlanta has the power cards. This is going to be extra turns. Another card probably that's going to be seeing some nerfs here in the future. We get a Fountain of Youth. This card's actually really great against a lot of factions, mainly because general healing is really strong. Like you saw Sundrop Elixir earlier. Now you're going to see that. He's going to Wildfire Ankh, get some value out of here, not take any damage back, keep himself healthy. I'm actually surprised he just didn't throw in the Scarab in front of him, because that leaves an open spot for the enemy to actually move in here and potentially get off another good provoke unit to protect himself, i.e. he plays another Silver Guard and Lion's Blessings it. Although he also, by keeping it back, he also still has a good burst damage. All right, so there you go. There he actually does play something in place. So he has something to fill the gap. This is well planned out. I don't know if there's much outs for Melancholische at this point. And clearly a lot of these things can just start swinging away. He's going to be pretty low health when this is done, although a lot of these units will be gone after they swing. So he's going to put him low. He's going to threaten him with all the blast. The question is, can he get out of it, though? He still has 3 damage. What does he draw? Coiled Crawler. That's not what he wants to see. He's only at 2. He can't trade out of it. He can trade Whistling and then walk around and lock down. Oh, no. I don't think that was the play. I think he needed to kill with his Whistling and then walk his general up and then lock down and then zeal out his provoke unit, because his provoke unit has to be the key thing that binds everything down, and it's going to need a lot of health, because clearly that'll eat a turn maybe, but if he has anything else to help out or this Dervish is able to get in, he's going to be in a pretty good spot. But this is actually okay, because with this Coiled Crawler, because with this Coiled Crawler, the idea is that you block off a lot of the viable paths that they could reach the provoke unit. The provoke unit's not going to do a lot of damage. Oh, there's a silence. So yeah, it doesn't matter. That's going to be GG. So that's game 1, going down to Atlanta. Very nicely played game. Basically looked rough in the early stages, but really got the double Crystal Wisp, got the Key Enslave, got the Key Time Maelstrom. And that's the problem when you face a Vitruvian, is that's the reality, is you really have to tear him down early and really be very abusive. Because otherwise you're not going to actually really have a chance to take it down. So that's game 1, going to Atlanta. It's the first game we've casted. that was actually a pretty good match, I will say. Melancholische actually had some really good positioning plays right there. That's some good stuff. This is a very good Titan battle to start out. Do note that this is double elimination, so either player loses, they'll just simply go down to the losers bracket, and they'll be able to play through. So not actually super big deal. I'm gonna check over here while I have the chance. Make sure no one is trying to ping me. There are people trying to ping me. How you guys doing, Twitch chat? This is the dream, right? This is the dream. Duelist on a Saturday, getting hype. All right, so here we go. We're going to start the new round out here. Instead, it's going to be Lyonar on the first turn. This is actually, he has a Crystal Wisp. That's a very good start for him. He's going to ditch Divine Bond because that's a late game kind of play. Gets Sundrop Elixir. Not really useful early, but he's going to be able to play Crystal Wisp. And this is a really strong start for a lot of turn 1 players. Now he's ahead in mana. The question is does Atlanta actually have a Crystal Whip of his own? Crystal Wisp is basically a 3-of in any deck right now, which means it's completely unhealthy. So hopefully next patch we'll see some nerfs to it. Eric's probably going to be on that very quickly. But again, this is pre-alpha, so a lot of stuff is changing week to week. It's not... the other suggestion I've actually really liked as well is a lot of people have talked about... Oh, so he's going to use Ephemeral Shroud to kill the Mana Crystal and deny it. This is actually really powerful, because if he would have allowed the Crystal Wisp to take that, he would have been in a lot of trouble. So he has 4 cores. He can actually play off and get a decent amount of cores out of it, depending on how he wants to position his General and or Crystal Wisp. Christopos can't really trade with anything, so I imagine he'll roll it up. Yeah, he's gonna roll it up, and then he's gonna walk in and start establishing the dominance, if you will. So the best out for Vitruvian, looking at his deck right now, is going to be the Siphon Energy, where he's able to silence this minion and turn into a 1/5 vanilla. Otherwise, this looks pretty good for him. Astral Phasing, a 2/7 Ephemeral Shroud with flying. The most powerful Ephemeral Shroud you've ever seen. My God. The most powerful of Ephemeral Shrouds. The one the prophecy foretold. Unfortunately, he's actually doesn't know this, but he's actually in a tough situation. He doesn't know it yet, but it's not great. So Planet Scout's going to go down. He has the ability to heal and Divine Bond if he wants. There's actually he has a lot of options here. I imagine he will heal. So he's going to get out damage. He's going to trade damage. He's trying to Zerg down because he knows. Yeah, so he knows the stakes here. He wants to clear out. And so the cool thing about him silencing right there is that the true health is what actually. Oh, well, interesting. Oh, I think he thought he still had general. He swung with his general and didn't realize it. So he was trying to create space for the 3 damage. So, I mean, that is a tough situation. He's probably not going to swing because it's not worth him on health parity anymore. So he's actually going to hold on to it because he wants to be able to potentially bond. He has a lot of damage next turn. Like Atlanta now at this point, this is the dream of Lyonar right now. This is the look you want. Atlanta, he could enslave, but there's nothing really super valuable that's like the for sure take for enslaving. I mean, he could take the Sunstone Templar, silence it, but like that's not going to save his life right now. Like he is actually he doesn't know it, but on the other side of the board is a lot of damage waiting for him. Because that 6 is a pretty solid number. But earlier what happened was the Sunstone Templar hit the Ephemeral and it lost the health advantage from the Astral, the flying basically ability gave him +5 health. So he lost all that health and just instantly died. All right, so he actually uses a nice blast right there. That is great for him. His goal right now is to clear out the Ephemeral Shroud and walk forward his Knight. And if he can do that, then he'll be solid. So yeah, boom, walks forward, and we should see Zeal and a Divine Bond. That's going to be no, it's not going to be lethal, but it's going to be quite close to it. So we're going to have 14. It's going to go down to 3. He doesn't have the rest of it because nothing else can get in. And now it's going to be on Vitruvian to pull a miracle. His best options are probably going to be, Silence obviously helps him, is good for him, but Tracer, if he has it, is a way for him to potentially save himself. Walking away is not going to be the way he's going to save himself. That's for sure. There's not a lot of good outs. If he time Maelstroms, he only has 1 mana in the bank. Imara may be helpful, but he has the 4 damage. He has the 4 damage on top of a unit immolation. Like he's So he's gonna time Maelstrom. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of other options. And there's a lot of things going on about the blast damage apparently. So he's gonna be able to create enough distance away from the big unit if he runs to the left fully, but there's still move. Like he actually can't create enough distance to not be in melee range. He has to have something in the way. And actually the position of the general right now makes it so that unless he locks down the general is free to move wherever he needs to go. So maybe like the best, and he can't really play anything that's not going to get cleared unless it's obelisks. Yeah, this is tough. And he just really just needs to play. He could play a Crystal Wisp and immolate it and kill Atlanta right now. So Atlanta probably going to drop this game. We're going to go to a game 3. Are you not playing your match right now, Oren? Have you dropped? Have you dropped out? Have you quit your dreams? Like he's literally hovering over Holy Immolation. He's like, Holy Immolation. So he's gonna play whatever he wants. So Fountain of Youth, that's actually really good. That's a good dig. That's gonna be able to get him some setup here. He needs to play it there. Like whatever he plays needs to be big and be. Oh, there we go. There we go. That is it. That's what he needed, except for what up answers. He actually has the ability to silence it. So he can clear this out. But the problem is like this still is not it's not fully win yet. He still has to work here. So there we go. Boom. And then he's going to have it right here now. Boom, clears it out. Walks up, brings the beat down. There we go. Game 2 going to be going to Melancholische. There we go, guys. Game 3, get hype. This is a good series to start the freaking tournament off on, man. Bunch of killers in these brackets. Bunch of killers. All right, so we're going to go to game 3 here. We'll see what he decides. Whistling's not going to be... so not quite as good of an opening. Crystal Wisp actually very much stronger of an opening for him last time. But a 4-3, like the Windblade Atom is very, very good. A 4-3 for 2 is pretty solid body on the board. When he gets disenchanted, he's not quite as good, but still... 2-3 body for 2 is good, and then on top of that, getting the damage. I mean, he's basically a better Dune caster at this point. He's not going to contest the bottom core. The thing about not contesting the bottom core, though, is it will pull his opponent away down towards that bottom crystal, which is frankly probably okay for him because it'll make it awkward for Zeal range. Although I imagine what he's gonna trade out here. Okay, so he's gonna decide okay, this is okay. So he moves Saber Tooth Dagger out. He's gonna kill the top one. Step in with his units. He can deal out damage if he wants here too. It's basically his priority is offense right now, so he's going to be able to clear out with that, and he has the lockdown following up. So I think he feels pretty good there. He's going to deal out the 4 damage here, get it out. He's not going to go for the lockdown. He's not going to let him have the potential to get out some silences or some second wish or anything like that. But yeah, this is good board look right now for Melancholische. Doing some tournament stuff right now. All right, so here we go. The response from Atlanta is going to be to bring out and ping. That's actually really good. He doesn't have to take the other 4 damage. We do know he has Fountains of Youth. He's actually going to throw... I don't like Ankh here. He deals with the damage, but the problem with Ankh is like you are in threat of getting locked down this next turn. And as good as it is, I mean, he has to have silence in his hand to feel confident enough here to play an Ankh because he has to believe... that he's going to be able to take the damage. Instead, he's going to actually try to Zerg down this Ankh, and the Ankh actually now has just 1 durability left. Do you know that Vitruvian does have the ability to ramp up all of its stuff? If he follows up with Hexblade, Archivist, he actually would be in a really good spot if he could somehow pull that off, but I don't think it's possible here. Planar Scout's going to come down, basically get in the way like a Planar Scout does. It looks Astral Phasing, yeah. See, this is where Astral Phasing actually is pretty good. Like, I'm not sold out entirely on its plays. Blind Scorch also is so Blind Scorch in general, like, is a card I would sideboard out against, especially against Lyonar, because Lyonar, they have Zeal, and Zeal actually, like, you go to 0, but Zeal will still activate, and it'll still give you the plus damage for Zeal. So it's like Blind Scorch in general, not a very good item. So he actually does have the ability to ping this off him just with his own unit here. I think he's going to keep trading it out. He does know that he has Fountain of Youth, which is one of the main drawbacks. But this is a really efficient turn. This is like where Lyoner's at its best. This like 5 core, just like drop the basic unit. These are basic units, man. It's like drop the basic units, call it good. It looks like he's going to create separation with his Coiled Crawler. Either it pulls in the Planar Scout, and the Planar Scout can fly anywhere. So it either pulls in the Planar Scout back over there, or he's still in a good position. Now he's at 6 core. He actually has the power to drop some really good effective stuff. Enslave would be really strong right now. Basically, again, taking over that provoke unit pretty big. Melancholische very much in the aggro form of Lyonar, protecting him out. All right, yeah. So a few players being slow to show up. It looks like. So if they don't show up or nothing happens out there, we'll be pinging them. We'll be advancing brackets and whatnot. That's all good. Happens in the tournament sometimes. People just don't decide to wake up on their Saturdays. It's fine. I felt like sleeping a little bit today too. Okay, so now he's gonna actually go for a surround and a scarab. This is actually really dangerous because now this creates a new problem where it's like he can try to go for the face, but the problem is that it has to be really good because the threat of second wish double blast is on the table. So that's his decision right now. Potential decision actually is to play the Sunstone Templar, just clear out the blast. I mean, you still have a 4/7 unit that's really strong, but it's you keep your pressure and you don't have to worry about the blast. Wow, so he's actually just going to go straight for it. So he actually is instead favoring just dealing with it, which is fine. I can respect the dealing with it. He can also play Sunstone Templar and hit the 1/7 flyer. I don't know if he cares about it necessarily yet. And really, he's just like, okay, I'm just going to recycle this Windblade adept, like whatever. And he also weakened one of his units earlier that could have been a problem. So he's going to Repulsor Beast, send this to the corner. That's actually, I don't know if I like it in the top corner. I mean, you could now start to retreat down. Actually, he's going to go up. Does he have, he must have a, Time Maelstrom. Okay. Yeah, so there it is. That makes more sense now. But yeah, this is the control Vitruvian, man. Now this is Melancholische losing control. And that's why I was kind of in favor of damage. But the 4/7 would have went through and done a lot of work, so that is fine. That is fair. How is he going to move everything else, and what's this next turn look like for him? Amira is going to be a big pain in the butt. There is answers to silence her, but the rushdown is definitely stifled here. Melancholische is going to be basically grasping for any damage you can put on him. Crystal Wisp's not going to be really helpful at this stage in the game. It is a small dude, but it's Star's Fury. So that's actually a pretty good Star's Fury. This can clear out the Windblade, and it can either kill. I think Silverguard's close to death. I don't actually know if he can clear it out. Depending on if you had Dune Casters, you could do a lot more. Problem here, too, is actually... what are we going to see here? Fountain of Youth. All right. What's he going to play off of this? Heals himself up. Now he's at 20 health. Melancholische at this point is probably thinking to himself he doesn't have a lot of good stuff to go here for himself. So clears out all his units. So he has no units on the board, and Atlantis sitting there with 4 left over to play a minion. I don't know if he has a minion. Oh, okay. So he didn't have a minion. So that's actually good news. That's the bright spot. He has damage potential here. I mean, so actually, no, this isn't too bad of a state. So the key thing is he can't invest too much into this Silverguard Squire, as tempting as it might be, because specifically it can be enslaved. And right now, that's actually kind of the problem, is enslavement for his race. He has good potential next turn. Atlanta better have a good hand. Melancholische could pull this back. That is the beauty right now. He could have it. All right, so Repulsor Beast is going to send him far, far away. That's sucky. As always. The Flying Planar Scout, like the Astral Phasing Planar Scout, has put in so much work this game. It's pretty horrible. So Rasha's Curse is going to get a 2/2 rush unit for 2. That's worth most of the time. He's going to attempt to create some more distance here. And basically this chase game is going to go on. Atlanta is basically hoping to draw into his late game power right now. So he does have an elixir here, so he can actually go back up to 15, which is very important for him now at this point. There's the rush unit. There's that. He's going to buff the rush unit now, so he's going to get a 6/5 rush unit now. He's going to be able to deal out that damage and start to put some pressure on. Now, the key to look out for is Enslave, because like literally he just created the best unit to fight him, which is against a Lyonar, is going to be a 6/3 rush unit because he can enslave it and swing in the same turn. It would kill and survive against the Silver Guard. So that's the fear. So that has to make me believe that's what he has, because, or something to that effect, because I don't think now he's going to blind scorch out. So he's actually not drawing a lot of the great power answers that you would expect now at this point. This is, I mean, Melancholische actually, he has a real shot here. He's got him down to 14. That's a lot of obelisks. That's a really scary part, but otherwise, he has a real shot here. Flies over to get in the way. It's not going to fully protect him. So the question is, like, what does he want to do? He has enough rush to deal out 9 damage this turn if he wants to. But then he'd leave a lot of minions on the board, which is not great. He has the ability to clear out both obelisks, but then he's sitting in another situation where he's waiting to have another bomb dropped on him or have an enslaved lion come back in his face. So here we go. What is Melancholische going to decide to do here? He has Sunstone Templar. That's a very good play. It's going to be able to at least stop an obelisk from doing something, which is the key here. Or it can finish off this planar scout. But I think the obelisk is definitely the bigger priority target. And he's going to actually, so he's going to go for full clear here and just keep board is what he's going to do. The astrophasing planar scout of doom. So here we go. This is a good looking board. Enslave Rex with the lion, but I think it's that he's gambling now on the risk that he's basically gambling for. He actually could have put the lion off of the. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so he's basically gambling off the risk that he didn't have Enslave, and it's paying off for him right now because it doesn't look like he has a slave. Instead, he has Amara, and Amara can get silenced out. So unless he can stop the silence. Oh no, he did the wrong one. Okay, there we go. He has a Siphon Energy. So he had both. Oh wow. This is a game. This is a freaking game. The emotes are glorious. This freaking game, man. Oh, what to do? So probably needs to swap out. I'd probably swap out Squire at this point. He's burned through a lot of his silences. So that's the good news. The good news is burned through a lot of silences. He has some dream. He has some dream left in him, boys. He has some dream left in him. He's calculating it right now. He's like, how do I do this? He has 9. So if he does Tiger plus 4, that'd be 5 plus 6. That'd be 15. Interesting. So he's going to trade out and take the 6 and get the heal? $13. Here we go. 5 health. 5 health versus the dream. All right, does he have it to take it? He enslaves it. Yep, there it is. GG. What a game. Great by both players. We got deep into that one. That was a long match. Congratulations right there.